It's been over a year since I started buying and selling second-hand golf clubs. A lot of mistakes have been made, a lot of lessons have been learnt, but how much did that actually make? Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon down here at Sanford Springs Golf Club. I'm just about to go and film with not one but two PXG drivers, which should make quite an interesting video. On my way next week, so it's a massive grind this week. I want to get videos up for this week, and then for next week it's going to be laptop down, phone down, camera down, away for Mary's dad's 60th, taking the kids. It's just going to be nice to obviously take a bit of a break, as we did grind very hard last year. I mean, I shouldn't have done as well as I did as a golf coach that was newly self-employed in a lockdown where I couldn't coach anyone. We had to diversify. We worked as Hermes delivery driver. We upped the buying and selling second-hand clubs, because realistically I started that just to show you guys what you can get, not as another business, but it turned into that, and now it's transpired. I got the lockup, and it's going to turn into a fitting centre in the near future. So even though last year was a bit of upset in the grand scheme of the plan, if anything, it's probably the best thing that's happened to me in terms of career and what we want to do and my passion, drive and everything else. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I did YouTube, Hermes, why not throw that in there, and second-hand club sales for last year. At this point I just feel like I'm a public traded company. You guys haven't invested your money, but you invested your time, effort, kind messages, you name it. So I thought I'd just be transparent, show you guys exactly what we did last year, as if anything I'm kind of just proud that last year was one of the best years financially for my family. At the same time, thoroughly enjoyable, rewarding, fulfilling, and yeah, not only did I have Axel and Blake through lockdown, I've got a very clear and precise game plan of what we're going to do over the next 10 years, which yeah, just motivating for me and exciting all at the same time. Oh, and quickly, if you haven't subscribed and turned notifications on, if you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be absolute dream. Let's get into the video. So let's start with the Hermes delivery driving work. As some of you probably would be interested to know how much money you can actually make from that job. Like, some guys that I met are making ridiculous amounts. Like, okay, they're working 12 hours a day, but for, I don't want to say just delivery work, but for minimal requirements, you can actually make really good money. I started looking for a job straight into the second lockdown. I knew financially, with no coaching, YouTube, especially January, February, March, not the best time for YouTube ad revenue. Obviously golf coaching not there, second-hand club sales, obviously couldn't leave the house, so how are we supposed to get the clubs, you name it. So I went and looked, and it's probably the best thing I've ever done, because it's now diversified me to a point that I'm not potentially worried. Like, YouTube ad revenue in the next 6 months could literally just hit zero, depending what happens to the economy. Second-hand clubs, they're so expensive at the moment, to the point that it kind of hurts me twice. Number one, making videos on expensive second-hand clubs isn't the ethos of this channel. I want cheap ones. I don't want to be selling stuff for a stupid amount of money. And then also, it's trying to get hold of the stuff. I mean, my turnover is massively down, because trying to get, well, you guys know, I'm spending a good portion of the time trying to find it just for videos, let alone the actual business itself. You guys are just trying to find a driver, a wedge, or whatever. It's next to impossible. So it's the best thing I've ever done. £7,000 I did over 4 months with Hermes, and that's not even like a full day's work. It's like 4 to 5 hours. You got to take petrol out of that, but to be honest, it worked out at about £22 an hour on average, which for something that I didn't necessarily have in my life is something that I'll be reluctant to let go. I've still got a very small round that does like £40–50 a day on average, but it takes 2.5 hours, and I put my AirPods in, I listen to my podcasts, and yeah, just think about what videos I'm going to make, trying to sort through my emails, texts, you name it, and it's just something that actually I quite enjoy. Up next, YouTube ad revenue. $22,968, which is incredible, especially when I started this channel 4 years ago, something like that. I always dreamed of being able to financially support myself and my family from YouTube. Now, this is why both of those things are very naive. Number one, relying solely on the financial basis of how well your videos do puts you in a very dark place and makes you not liking making YouTube videos, which is why this year has been so great, and probably one of the best perspectives I've had this year is not relying on my YouTube videos for the finance. If you enjoy the videos you make and you don't care about how well they do, that's when you produce the best videos, and that's when it comes hand in hand with the financial side of it. Number two, is that everything going forward from the YouTube channel, I like to think that with the secondhand club stuff, the coaching, the other bits and bobs I'm doing, that's going to kind of be my finance for the family, mortgage, etc. The YouTube stuff, I want to get to a point that it's just self-fulfilling. Mr. Beast is a great YouTuber, and I'm a big fan of how he started his journey to get to where he is. It's a case of everything that he's made off that channel goes straight back into the videos, and that's why I want to be with this. £500, £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 on video ideas. Whether there's surprising people with secondhand sets, or there's just so many different ideas that I can do with that kind of budget that'll just be entertaining, educational, gives you guys the value that you deserve, and at the moment we're not quite there. Speaking of that, I will be looking for a sponsor this year for an editor, as again, that is just time. I'm not an expert on editing, my editing has definitely got better, but there's people that can do a lot faster and a lot better than me. So I will be looking for an editor this year, as I think that'll speed the process up and also give more value to the channel, as I'm not claiming that I'm an expert in every single department of the channel, and I think that is the next step. So that's kind of it. YouTube side of it's great. 20, 30, 50,000, $100,000 over a year. I want to take the majority of that and put it straight back into the channel so that it just keeps growing and getting bigger, because I think that is probably the best roadmap, I should say, to building a successful channel and community. Basically you guys. And last but not least, second-hand club sales. We turned over just under £60,000 last year, which is incredible. I never thought I'd actually get that much turnover in the first year. Problem is, golf's a very high driven turnover business, because with the equipment, everything's very expensive. And one of the biggest things I learned this year from the turnover element is that I was spending a lot of money on, let's say, good deals in the £200, £300, £400 mark. But once you take the fees, I mean 10%, 15% off £500 is a lot of money. And then when you take out the potential insurance or the loss or damage of those clubs, or people just being difficult with those high precious items, I kind of prefer the cheaper stuff as a business model. I like a driver at £40, I like a set of irons at £100, and to be honest, that just kind of matches with my ethos anyway with golf. Until you get to that single figure stage, that's kind of where you should be looking for your golf game. That being said, we did well. Just under £60,000 in terms of turnover, £27,000 in terms of profit, which is, well, actually, I believe that's still not including, I've spent about £1,000 on cardboard boxes. And then if you take into the petrol of going and getting a lot of these clubs, there's a lot of other factors that probably could come down from that, but let's say £25,000 profited from the second-hand club sales last year, which is incredible. But I do want to scale it bigger. I like the idea, even having like £20,000 or £30,000 worth of second-hand club stock isn't that much, and I have to rethink the business model of how that's going to work, because I want to offer more money for people and sell it for cheaper than everyone else. I want to have very slim profit margins but incredibly high turnover, which means that I can give decent club fittings. I want 5 sets of the same G20 irons. I want 10 TaylorMade M2 2017 heads and drivers, so that you can come for an experience and still go away with great value. It's been difficult this year because the prices have fluctuated so much. The start of this journey, I didn't quite realise how, not necessarily cheap, but how normal the market was, to the point of 1 lockdown, 2 lockdown, very expensive now. And it's not really an easy way of getting hold of second-hand club stuff efficiently, giving good price to the person that obviously sells it to you, because at the end of the day, I don't want to make a considerable amount of money, but at the same time to mark it up enough that you're competitive and also give value to the next person. Guys, if you like this video, leave it a like. I'm going to go and smash both of these drivers and make a video for tomorrow or the next day. If you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys later.